get that underspin, they're gonna go around 4, 5, and maximum 6 around the ball. Then the ball is gonna go like. And when you do it very well, let's try to do it here. The ball is gonna almost stop in the table, which is ideal. Like then you know that you have enough spin, that the ball, like the other person, when it needs to receive, is gonna receive short and kind of lock the game. That's what you want. When you serve like that, you're not serving to allow the opportunity to the other side to attack. You're serving to lock the game. Strategy is very important, and you're going to do that especially when you don't know your opponent. You don't know what they can do, so you're going to start to serve around the table, like choosing some areas to serve like that to see how they react. You see like how they go to technique to receive. If they're late, if they're on time, then you can see if they're a little bit late in the forehand. So you know they're going to be late to attack. So you can start to change your serve a little bit. Serve a little bit more up, more side spin. So then if you receive the same way, that ball comes a little bit longer to you, come a little bit higher to you, then you can attack better the first top spin. So that always relates to strategy, right? So that's how we normally do those things. So when you don't know the person that you're playing against, you do that serve, under spin, lock the game. So then you're gonna see that there's a few responses that they can have, combined with how they go in the ball, how they go, if for example the guy is gonna receive the short serve you play there, short with underspin, and the guy goes like this, you know right away there's a problem in footwork, because they're stretching, all the weight is not balanced, it's just one leg, both legs are not there. So normally that person is going to be always late to that ball, starts with the stand-up position too high. So then that's when you start to think, okay, I maybe can change a little bit top spin there, a little bit side spin there. If that person is too late, so they cannot flip with speed, if they try to put that ball on the table, that ball goes a little bit high. You don't need to get a ball that's come back to you too high. If it comes too high, very good, you're going to finish your point. But if you calculate somebody receives to you that ball, and the ball bounces, and this side, a little bit high like this, if you go to take a trajectory from the top of the net and make a tangent and going up, it's like about this high here. It's an easy ball to attack. So that's how you start to, how can I say, put your strategies in place. Start from the serve, like just seeing how it is, or you're going to serve a little bit to the backhand. If the person goes a little bit with elbow high, you know that there's a problem there. So you can get like, we use that service, you know that that person is always good, always push to you. It's not going to have like a, unless they go like a different, they put the shoulder down, elbow high, but the shoulder low, they're going to attack. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about in our psychology part as well. It's like a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So when you see like that body language coming to you, you know the reactions that come. So there's a lot of training that comes just in paying attention to your opponent to see what it is. Because when you're playing, you're not talking. You need to analyze. You need to see what's going on, right? See how many things you can get just from one serve. That's a good start. Let's wait a little bit more, like until like Michelle says we're good.
When you have to analyze, so say, how do you store the things, slow down the game so you have time to think about it when you're playing? Like say, for example, you're the one who serves, for example. How long can I just slow down to serve so that I have time to think?
Well, we have about 20 seconds to serve, right?
20 seconds?
Yeah. So when you pick up the ball, when the rally is done, you go pick up the ball, and then you come back to serve. So you have about 20 seconds to serve. So like some umpires, like by rule, 20 seconds is what is allowed. If you slow down a little bit more, you can get even 30 without getting punished.
Yeah, people wipe the hand.
But the thing is, the trick is, as soon as that point is over, in the way back to pick up the ball, or the other player is going to pick up ball, you need to do the analysis right there. You start there, you have like a lot of time. Actually, you have more idle time than playing time actually. Because when you start the point is going to be 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds. If it's a very long point, like 8, 9 seconds, then you're going to pick up the ball. Then you go. Count. How long do I have? Yeah, then you come. Oh yeah, let's go.
Wipe your hand on the table.
Yeah, let's do everything we can. Take your time. And then you go. So I was a little bit fast. It takes longer. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You have a lot of time to get a lot of confidence and to lose your confidence. It go both ways. Like you have enough time.
So you don't actually need 20, 30 seconds.
No, you don't.
Your brain's going to process this in like less than 2 seconds.
Yes, you can. The information you can process very fast. For example, let's do an exercise, very quick exercise. I'll make something here, and I'll give you like 2 seconds to analyze what I did. Right? Make sense? Okay. 1, 2. Now try to explain to me what you saw in 2 seconds. You're not going to be able to do that. That's what I'm saying. Our brain capacity of analyzing information is way faster than we can speak the information. We can transmit information. So that's why the whole time that we're on the table, we need to analyze, analyze, analyze. So make sure that when you can explain what you're analyzing, it means like that information is really sinking in your mind. Then you got what you were looking for. Because normally, you see like what they say in school, right? If you can explain what the teacher is saying to you, you learned, right? If you can explain with your own words, that's what I'm saying. Like you see the information, but sometimes you don't see it. When you verbalize that information, you write down, and then you have your thoughts in line. That's very important for sports psychology. That's one of the tricks. Every time when you analyze a situation, just don't get it floating in your head. Put in thoughts, structure, then you can understand what's going on. That's important. But we're going to talk more about it. We start? Okay, we're ready to start. So that's Sports Psychology for Table Tennis 101. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience as a high-performance coach in those areas. My name is Marles Martins. I worked for high-performance table tennis with different teams for over 25 years. So now we're here like to try to make sure that we can move on a little bit and take down some myths about sports psychology. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It's a lot of work. Because the sports psychology is is one thing that you can do outside the table all day long if you want. You can train all day long outside the table. You don't need a table per se to be training. But let's start with sports psychology. Actually, what is psychology?
It's your mind.
Yeah, it's psychology. It's a science that studies the psyche, your mind. What is the sports psychology? Is all of that geared towards your sports or action sports to make sure you can have a better performance. So sports psychology was not very well known until like the 70s, and when or the Cold War in Russia is starting to go against US, and they start to prepare the players in different ways and start to get a different notion of this. Then they start with different technologies at this time. It was very clinical actually, with a lot of Gestalt therapy, a lot of different things, and a lot of experience. Your right hand talking to your left hand, and sometimes people, they're not prepared for those things. They're not structurally sound, so then you can have a reverse reaction, right? So, but then it starts to improve quite a bit, and today you have a very advanced systems in sports psychology. You can stay here, I can talk for 2 years about it or more without really getting anywhere with that. But what I'm going to do is like tell you why it's so important to have a very strong understanding of your psyche when you play table tennis. First of all, let's understand what is required for table tennis. Table tennis in '89, long time ago, they made one study to see which sports in the world would use more sensorial parts of your brain than just action, just the muscles and everything else, this skeletal structure, right? It means use more brain versus your body, right? They had, of course, like they include a lot of things. It's not surprising that chess came in first, right? It's like basically you need to have a lot of like physical condition enough to resist like those hours and longs of your chess match, but it's like 98% of mental power. And then comes the second sport in the world to use more mental power is table tennis. They got to a point they said it's going to be 61%. So that explains in a very short, let's say, in a nutshell, why you have a player that's 100 like fit and strong and silent, and then on the other side you have a player that looks like he's not as fit, is not as capable or anything, and that guy beats the machine. Because if you go like a body against body, there's no, but that's how we justify it, because table tennis is up here. 2/3 of the game is up here. So, and depends on the style that you play is even more. That's the thing. If you're a round player, that you like to go more in the rallies, you might like to play like two or three balls ahead and see what's going to happen, calculating where you're going to place and change your rhythm and speed. You're not just serving, attacking, and killing, so you're going to need to use more. Depends on your style, requires more. Okay, so table tennis. Beside that, NASA. They wanted to promote the space travel program that they had. So what they did, let's see what's hard to accomplish in the world. Let's see. They do, of course, being an astronaut, they need to be PhD in 3 or 4 different sciences, right? And be physically strong and so on. That was they got like that's to be an astronaut is one of the hardest things. It is the hardest thing to do in the world. The second is to be world champion table tennis. And the third, not now I guess, but the third was to be a president of a superpower nation. Now we're not going to go into politics, but that was the result of their research. So table tennis, to be world champion, requires more preparation from a human being, just less than being an astronaut. That's it. So you cannot be a world champion table tennis by accident. You got to know what you're doing. There's no accidents. Believe me, to have like results, when you have a result, a solid result, is not accident. It's not luck. Okay? So now let's talk about, if I know that table tennis uses that much power for my capacity, so is that important to train technique? Yes, very important. Why? Because when you're playing here, you should disconnect everything that you're thinking about, your body motion, and just pay attention to the game. You need to imagine yourself like you're playing a video game, right? You're just checking the screen there, and you're doing everything. So your brain is the commander. Your body is just like that kind of avatar that you see in the television. That's very important. Because if you are playing and you miss the ball in the forehand here, for example, and then you stop and say, you see that a lot. I did wrong, I need to correct. When I do that, where is my concentration now? We're going to talk about concentration, but where's my concentration now? In my arm. It's in me. But where's the game going? And what the other guy is doing there? That's what I need to prepare to. What is my opponent doing? If I'm concerned about me, there's whatever he does there, I'm not going to follow. So it doesn't matter if I fix my forehand. I'm not winning this game to start with. So when you are well prepared for a game, for a competition, you don't think about technique. You just think about the strategy, tactics. You just analyze. That's when you're ready. That's why your preparation before a tournament, for example, is very important. Because you make the preparation in such a way that you don't need to pay attention to your body. You already know your limitation. You already know like how many balls you play in the forehand without missing. You know like if the technique is good or not. If you go to the competition thinking about to change how you do your, that's game over. You are too far. That's not how it should be happening. You understand what I mean? So, we need to have a good technique, a good physical condition. We need to. But that's secondary. And when you go to play your tournament that you have a goal, because when you want to improve your mental aspects, it's to play a better competition, normally. So when you go there to that competition to play there, so you should not think anymore about the machine. You just need to think about how to elevate here. That's the strategy. Make sense? So, oh, but I still have problems in my backhand. Do the best as you can to get there in the competition. When you're playing the game, you should watch everything that's happening. That's the most important thing. Okay? Make sense? Everybody's following? Okay. So, since I know when I'm playing that I need to concentrate everything there, what should I be doing side to keep that where my training is going to push me? First thing is, we have like one like probably hear like players saying, "Oh, the guy's in the zone," or the guy's in he's like in flux. He's like in that zone that he sees everything. He's performing well, and so. But that's where we want to be. So that zone is very important for us. If you are too excited, you cannot control very well your actions. Especially if you're too excited, you're going to electrical signal to your muscles. Try to receive short when you're excited. Try to serve short. That ball is going to go long. And that's another point now. If you know like you are too tense, too excited, in the end of the game, like he's like 10-10, you know that's going to happen. You know what? Embrace it. You're not going to be able to serve short and wait for that ball to come short to lock the game. Then serve the damn thing long and get ready for something that's going to happen. Don't try to I see a lot of players that they're tense, and then I'm going to play short. And then they go there and they trust they're going to play short, but it's so tense. The electrical signals are going so strong that a little flicking movement, a little contraction in muscle, that ball goes long, and he's waiting for that short ball because he's going to go inside, he's going to flip, he's going to do something. That ball goes long, and now he needs to block, and it's game over. He's out of the strategy. So if you know that something like that is going to happen, go long and wait for the reactions. Really, one of the best trainings that you can have for mental aspects to be prepared is studying probabilities. Where the ball is going to come, statistics. That's a very important training. If I play that ball at that speed there, where is the ball going to come back to me? So if I play, it's very simple. There's a book, I think you guys can access this book. It's Train to Win, Michel Gadal, I guess. He was one of the national coaches here in Canada. He made a lot of discoveries working with psychology students, actually. Sports psychology students in CEP in Paris, where all major sports, they train together. So one of the things is like, he discovered that when you play a very good quality ball here, forehand, cross, for example, low ball, quality, bounce in the end, and so on, 95% of those balls, they come in a 30-degree angle. They come back cross. If you play that cross, a hard ball is going to come across. It's very hard to change there. And when you change here, somebody changes, because the intensity is so high there, they go with care. Because they don't want to miss the table. They slow down here. So 95% of the time. Then you can use your forehand again. So that's why you see when these players like in the television, they start to play bow, bow. Why they don't change in the other side? Quick.
There's more power this way.
Because there's way too much power here. If you try to change there, like maybe you're gonna move the angle, you're gonna change, something is gonna change the technique. You have a lot of chance to make the point. So they make it like, well, like you're gonna go like, who has like the more consistency.